Okay guys, today we're going to talk about a parabola. We're going to define what the equation is, define what the focus and directrix is, and analyze the equation of a parabola. Actually, we're going to write an equation of a parabola. So let's define it first. Parabola is the set of all points in a plane which are an equal distance from a given point and a given line. Okay, think of it as the path of a projectile under the influence of gravity, that ideally it follows the curve of the shape. Okay, so the axis of symmetry is the line of symmetry for the graph. And the two sides of the graph axis of symmetry are mirror images. Okay, all right, then let's talk about what the focus is. The focus is a special point I don't know why that's coming up, but oh well. Okay, used to construct and define the conic section. Okay, the parabola has one focus and it lies within the parabola. Okay, so when I say it lies within the focus, so here's the focus because it's within the curve. Okay, the lattice is the chord through the focus, and it's parallel to the directrix. Okay, so for instance, on this particular thing, we have the focus is here, we have the directrix down here, and so it's parallel. And it basically, what it ends up doing is it gives us the distance from the focus to the edge of the parabola. And the directrix is the fixed line used to describe the curve. Okay, it's perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. And doesn't touch the parabola. Okay, so see, it's always the same distance, and what you'll notice is that the focus and the directrix is always the same distance. Okay, those are congruent. Alrighty. Okay, so let's talk about all the different equation forms. There's a whole bunch of different equations forms that it depends on the way the graph looks. So for instance, in the first one here, y minus k squared equals 4h x minus 4ax minus h, the axis of symmetry is parallel to the x-axis and opens to the right. So if I have my graph, the axis of symmetry is going to be parallel. Okay, there's my axis of symmetry. Okay, and it opens up to the right, so it's going to look something like that. Okay, and you'll notice, oops, sorry, having fun playing with this. Okay, you'll notice that the difference between that one that opens right and the one that opens left is that you have a negative 4a versus a positive 4a. If it is parallel to the y-axis, okay, so here's my graph, and its axis of symmetry is parallel to the y-axis, okay, then it's going to open upward, okay, and then you'll notice you have this time the x is squared, and you have a positive 4a, and if it opens downward, you have a negative 4a. Okay, so let's work on now finding some of these points. So, first thing we need to do is, let's use an equation. So we have, oh, my form's kind of, vertex k is the opposite sign in the equation, h is the same size in the equation. Focus, we need to solve for a, and for the directrix, then we're going to use to the equation. So let's look at, this is, sorry, my whole screen didn't print right. So let's look at y plus 2 squared is equal to 6 times x minus 2. I missed a thing. And we're going to do a vertex, and we're going to look at the focus. We're going to improvise here. We're going to look at the directrix. Okay, so when I look at my equation here, I find that it is similar to the form of y minus k squared is equal to 4a x minus h. Okay, that means that my vertex is going to be of the form h and k, and I just found that from looking at the chart before. My focus is going to be h plus a and k, and my directrix is x is equal to h minus a. All right, so let's look at the first part. The vertex, when I look at my form, my vertex, this is h, this is k. So that means my vertex is going to be at 2, negative 2. Okay, then my focus, to find a, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to look at the fact that this is 6, and so I say, hey, that's 4a, so 4a is equal to 6. When I divide by 4, a is equal to 1.5. So that means my focus is going to be h, which is 2, plus 1.5. And so my focus is at the point of 3.5, negative 2. Oops, and I don't know why I just put an extra parenthesis in there for you. All right, 3, 5, and 2. All right, now to find the directrix, I just put it into the formula. Well, now I know that h is 2, and I'm going to subtract my a value of 1.5. And so therefore, x is equal to 0.5. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at how to write the equation of a parabola from the graph. All right? Okay, so let's look at what we know here. Okay? My graph and my axis of symmetry is parallel to the x-axis, and it opens to the left. Okay, that means, looking back at my chart, that I have y minus k squared is equal to negative 4a times x minus h. Okay, now step 2 is to find my vertex and use it to replace the h and k in the equation. Well, my vertex is at here, so 2, 1. And so that means I have y minus 1 squared is equal to negative 4a times, I'm going to put that over there because I don't know what that does. Negative 4a times x minus 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Goodness gracious, 2. All right, now the second thing I need to do is I need to find what a is. Okay, so let's put any point in to the general equation, and let's use this point 1, 0. So that means that I'm going to have 0 minus 1 squared is equal to negative 4a times 1 minus 2. And now I can just solve for a. So that means that I have negative 1 squared equals negative 4a times negative 1. So 1 is equal to 4a, and so therefore a is equal to 1/4. So now when I put that into the equation and simplify, I'm going to have y minus 1 squared is equal to negative 4 times 1/4 times x minus 2. And so my final equation is y minus 1 squared equals negative x minus 2. Easy peasy. Alrighty, good luck with your equations and Math Excel. Sorry about the stuff everywhere all over the board, but trying to learn how to do these videos with a different software. Have a great day, and I will see you in a week.